What?
Now do it with a click.
The peeping and the puppies. The peeping and the puppies.
Oh my God!
Welcome to episode 63 of the Serial Chillers podcast. It's me, Jesse. Today we cover killer Derrick Todd Lee. We have, of course, Hella Greg in the studio, returning for the second time. Welcome back, Tiffany, and she brings along Craddock to replace Travis, who totally forgot he was supposed to be here for this episode. It's okay, man. We all make mistakes. Derrick Todd Lee was fucked up. Nothing about this is good. When is it ever? If you would be so kind, sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 63 of the Serial Chillers podcast. Okay, well, welcome everybody to episode 63 of the Serial Chillers podcast from the Super Network studio. I am here with Hella Greg in his mobile bunker across the internet somewhere hiding out. How goes it, Hella Greg?
Oh, well, just hanging out.
Hanging out?
Yeah.
Having a bud, watching the game?
What's that?
And returning second time in the studio, welcome back, Tiffany.
Not returning champion, unfortunately.
That's okay. You've got it's a whole new day today, and still, if you win or lose, I don't have anything for you. So
yes.
That's wonderful. And stepping in a pinch for, we're not even going to say his name. Thank you, Craddock.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Stepping in, it's kind of like, saying, hey, sorry Colin Kaepernick can't make it, but here's Tom Brady. So,
But shh.
Oh yeah, sorry. Here, see, I'm not good. I got you. All right. Well, welcome to the studio. Let me start at the top. Is there anything you guys want to throw out there?
I don't think so.
Nothing?
I don't think I should throw anything in this room.
All right, it's a room full of my childhood.
There's stuff on the walls. I might knock something down.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it would survive. I guess I would be just really interested in seeing how good your arm was at this point.
Let's do it.
All right, well, you guys know how the show works. Let me explain it for anybody that does not. Each week I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends to tell the story of an infamous serial killer. Throughout the show, you guys can chime in on my story, and if you've brought a story of your own that is true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious, please feel free to share it. Lastly, if you have questions about the questions, make sure to ask questions, because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions. Are there any questions?
What are we supposed to do with the questions again?
Just ask them if you got them.
Oh.
Welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. Yeah. Episode 63, you guys. Let's get to it. Tonight's serial killer is Derrick Todd Lee. Is it a name you've heard?
No.
I've heard all three of those names before.
So I think let's just give him the win. Let's call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, and I appreciate it. I'm just going to wrap up here. Let me get
Be sure to go to patreon.com/.
Dang, holding it down right there. Okay, so note cards in the middle, guys. You'll need one of those.
Oh.
These writing
Okay.
utensils in the this is not a beaker.
Is this like Caucasian Lee or Asian Lee?
This is African American Lee.
Ooh.
L-E-E or E-I-G-H?
L-E-E, correct.
Okay.
D-E-R-R-I-C-K.
Ugh, can't trust him.
Todd, as you would expect it to be spelled, and Lee, L-E-E.
Double D.
Double D, right?
Yeah, double
Okay,
D.
it's one D then.
It'd be like Toad.
Then I would guilty instantly.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Okay, so question number 1. In what year was Derrick Todd Lee born? All right, Tiffany was ready. She was quick draw McGraw with this answer. Let's see what you got.
1979.
79. Craddock.
I went with 1969
69.
due to slight comical value.
Well, your slight comical value scores you points 250 of them.
I think I'm just not meant to win anything.
I'll tell you this, it almost scored you 1,000 points on the bonus because he was born November 5th, 1968. Ooh, yeah. So we're getting 250 off the bat, though. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. He wasn't kidding, I guess. He just goes for the 75-yard touchdown pass after the touchback.
No, he had the prettier jersey, so I just went with that.
I see.
Peyton Manning to Dallas Clark, 80 yards.
Yeah, those the glory days right there. So he was born in St. Francisville, Louisiana. Do you guys remember that super sweet year 2000 found footage movie, the St. Francisville Experiment? They were just like totally cashing in on Blair Witch. Greg, you remember that movie?
Vaguely.
I think it was like a movie that I like took my 7th grade girlfriend to go see, and we had to like buy tickets to see something PG-13 and like waited to see the rated R, and it was terrible, and that was the last time I saw it. But for some reason, as soon as I saw the name St. Francisville, Louisiana popped up, it was located there. So, yes. Anyway, sorry, that's just I had to put it in there. Stupid St. Francisville got stuck in my dumb head. From the ages of 3 to 13, Derrick Todd Lee would not know his birth father, first of all. He was gone. But he did have a father figure, so to speak, around. But he was punished severely by this stepfather very frequently and very hard. All physical abuse, no reports of psychological or sexual abuse. Not that makes anything better, but that's what was happening over there.
Hey, he did what he did in spite of those things. Good for him.
Yes, yeah. Oh my god. So the physical violence, not good. The sexual abuse didn't happen, but it's going to seem like it did.
Supposedly.
Let's just say that. Yeah. He had a very domineering mother as well. She did not ever intervene or allow. She just allowed the beatings to happen. I guess what I'm trying to say. So she was very. They say domineering. I think she was very strict and very loud. That's all it really ever gets into with her. But the beatings came heavy and often from the stepfather. They say that he was challenged developmentally, and so he was put into special education classes in early elementary school. He was taunted by classmates for being the R word. I don't even want to throw it out there these days. Got into frequent trouble, and he was a known thumbsucker throughout, his early days in elementary school. He also called his teacher Mama.
Ooh. So everybody made fun of the mom kid.
I feel like more kids than not had done it. Just a few did it in front of the whole class.
Yeah, I totally remember the time I did it too.
Yeah,
it slipped, and as soon as it slipped, I just put my head down.
I think
senior year was rough, dude.
I think for me in this, normally when I get through with an outline, it's like I would maybe have felt bad a little bit at the beginning. By the time it's over, I'm like, well, fuck that guy. Or like Eileen Wernos is like has one that really stands out though. It's like that was a really really tough childhood.
She was
like,
fucked from the
what
beginning.
other choices did she have? And not that his rivals or equals that, but I'm feeling really bad as I'm like beginning this, and as I continue to go and I see the things he does, they're not good, but I'm still looking back at young Derrick Todd Lee and being like,
I feel like that's a lot of these guys.
Yeah, poor guy. True, it's very true. I think some of them just get a little more tormented, and I feel like that was his life growing up. Was just everywhere he went, someone had some type of problem with him, and he was a young black man in Louisiana in the 70s and early 80s. So in November 8th of 1981, he is arrested for burglary and vandalizing a candy store. He also attacked a woman in front of his mother who was accusing him of peeping. So at this point, he's decided to do a little peeping. At the same time, nearly at the same time he's caught peeping, he also is found to have tortured the family dog and its puppies.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah. So
the peeping or the puppies?
The puppies.
Say that 10 times fast.
Peeping are the puppies. The peeping are the puppies.
another sound drop. So from all of his being a young man, getting his damn ass kicked by bullies, and his stepfather, he experiences a lot of injuries. No substantial head injuries that we know of, but I think if you're just getting your damn ass kicked by your stepdad all the time, there's
It's
a good
quite
chance.
possible.
Yeah, there's a good chance he got.
With the bum knee, there's no way you're taking the team to state.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It's just
And
not
right there,
gonna
it's all downhill.
Exactly. So, like we said, he is arrested for the vandalizing and burglary of a candy store. The woman who attacked him, he attacked the woman who accused him of peeping in front of his mother. Let's skip forward to 1985. He's now 16 years old. He's going to be arrested for second-degree murder, but was released because he could not be connected to the crime. So now there's not a lot of evidence to the crime because he's just pretty much picked up because they thought he was a part of it. They had someone give him he had an alibi that got him out of it, and then someone else was connected. So he was essentially brought in as a suspect for a minute, but they made the arrest because they thought they had enough evidence initially. So essentially a case of mistaken identity is what they chalked it up to. But they
For a young
arrested
black
him.
man in Louisiana.
They arrested him and charged him first before they realized they had made the mistake.
Are we just glossing over this robbery of a candy store? Like, I feel like that's like the least intimidating robbery you can have.
He was.
Give me all your jujubes. They just throw them at you like.
That's how
Another
you
Gary
warm
Bear's
up.
asshole, don't
when
hold
you
out.
become a serial killer, that's just how you warm up.
And to think, at 13, and they said he has developmental issues. He's like 6 at this point, so he's like, I gotta get me some candy, and it was on from there.
Did you say give me all your jujubes like a 20s, like an accent from the 20s?
Yeah.
Give me all your jujubes.
See?
You're saying?
So, yes, because nothing ever came of it. He's arrested for the burglary. I think the candy store owner is like, you fucker, you're
Just
13 years old.
Onset diabetes. That's the only thing that came of it.
You're already gonna be in trouble. You
His blood sugar was low. Everything else after this makes perfect sense.
Exactly. So he's released for the second-degree murder. He's also released for the candy store burglary and vandalization. He's only 16, but he's got a plan. He's got a car, so he sets fire to his own car to get the insurance money.
Wouldn't.
It works.
Good for
Of course
him.
it works.
So
At 16?
I think it's more like it's 1985, and they're like, fuck it, your car's on fire, right? Here, just take it.
It's a foolproof plan, but it's guys like that. That's the reason why it doesn't work now.
Fuckers.
He ruined it for everybody.
Greg all mad about it.
Well,
I know that one time I tried to burn a car for insurance money, it totally backfired.
Where is it?
Rim shot.
yeah.
Hey, you got to edit it to make it sound like I was quick to that. So, July 2nd, 1988, he's now 19. He's a fucking adult now, so shit gets a little more real at this point because they're not just going to be like, he's a kid, he's got this. So, he is arrested for attempted burglary, but charges were reduced to unauthorized entry. This is of a hardware store. On September 17th of the same year, he's now 20, he marries Jacqueline Sims in Solitude, Louisiana. He found it difficult to hold down a job. I wonder why. You have a lot of criminal enterprises going here. So
Head's really messed up.
yeah. He's going to end up doing multiple things throughout his life. Question number 2.
feel like
Which
a
of
lot
these
happened.
jobs was never held by Derrick Lee? So I'm going to give you 4 jobs. One of them he never did.
Okay.
Pipe fitter.
A what?
A pipe fitter.
Pipe fitter.
A truck driver, a laborer, or a custodian. One of those 4 things he was not. Please tell me what it was. All right, what have we got?
I'm going to say truck driver.
He was never a truck driver.
Oh. I'm going to go with custodian. Oh.
Tiffany says he was never a
Wait,
custodian.
did you just answer it though? I'm so confused.
No. It's-
Oh, he was saying
Pretty
he
said
was
yes.
never
Yeah.
a
He was
truck driver.
Trebecking
And I'm
my
okay.
thing.
and
Who or what is?
and you're
Custodian.
saying he was never a custodian. And you're going to tie the damn thing back up at $2.50 a piece because that is correct. He was never a custodian.
Too much socialization in that one.
He was almost primarily a truck driver.
Well, I'm horribly wrong in that then. But for me, pipe fitter, working with your hands, custodian, working with your hands, construction, working with your hands,
Yeah.
truck driver, sitting
But you
around.
got to think about people.
All I do is think about people.
February 17th, 1989, he begins harassing his mother for his childhood problems with his stepfather. He's now older and far more bitter about what he was brought up, and I think that he even kind of, even though he was a lot slower intellectually, I think he's starting to realize the damage that was done to him as a kid, because he was taking it like brutally on her. I think she moved to get away, like to hide from him at some point, because he was trying to take it back out on her. So later that year, April 13th, he's going to plead guilty to misdemeanor trespassing and sentenced to therapy. Believe it or not, he never showed up.
No.
Yep, that's right. Not
Didn't have a truck to get there.
What do you want him to do?
See, it's all adding up. All these dominoes are falling.
And it just continues to escalate, I assure you.
Low blood sugar, no ride, equals murder.
So May 23rd of 89, his wife is going to call the police when he starts slapping her around the house and threatens her father with a gun. So he was beating her up, and so she calls her dad, like maybe he can defuse and at least kind of protect me. Her dad gets there, and Derrick's like, no, motherfucker, like get the fuck out of here. This is our problem. Back up. So yes, he's arrested for that. You're not allowed to just pull a gun on people, okay? Just so you guys know.
Okay.
Official word of serial
If it's
killers
in your
podcast.
house and they don't belong there.
I guess there are definitely some.
And I feel like Louisiana in the 80s, that was probably the best time to pull a gun on somebody walking into your house without reason.
I think Derrick had a little few too many that night.
Unless they're a cop and they just come in for like no reason.
At all.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, no, wait. Unless you have weed in your apartment.
Yeah, she knew, dude. So this motherfucker is getting caught doing some shit that is like just a little bit less than murder, but he is never getting caught and he's never getting in trouble. He's burglarizing homes. He's burglarizing businesses. He is pulling guns on father-in-laws. Why not just try your hand at murder, right?
What the hey?
He's untouchable, you guys.
You're not getting caught. You're doing all this Bush League
I can
lower
do
level
anything.
stuff.
I think that's kind of a trend as well, is these guys that do a ton of these petty crimes growing up and they spend 6 hours in jail or they don't get caught or, they feel invincible. Imagine committing 7 crimes from 16 to 21 and being like, man, those are pretty major, like some fucked up. I could have spent 10 years in prison for all those and I didn't spend any time in prison for any of them. I'm going to shoot someone in the fucking mouth. What do you think? Like, let's do this.
Well, I mean, he pointed the gun at the dad. He's like, oh, that's a nice mouth.
I think I'd like to shoot me one of those.
Not that one, though.
Not
one like
here.
it.
Not tonight.
Not here.
One like it, though.
Yeah, I think we're getting really into the mind of Derrick Todd Lee right now. Just stick with it. Stay in character. So a few years later, August 23rd, 1992, he is going to bludgeon Connie Warner to death with a hammer in Zachary, Louisiana. This is one that's going to be connected to him after his arrest. I was kind of thinking about this too. Can you imagine being an arresting officer? And you're like, look, we know you did these 2 murders. We have the DNA evidence. We have this. And he's like, 2? Okay, let me tell you something. So I think that was kind of the deal when they started putting pieces together. Initially, they were thinking for 2, and it ends up being a few more than that. So, she seemed to put up quite a fight. They said that traces of the fight were found in multiple rooms across the house, and I believe that he bludgeoned her with it was with a hammer. I'm sorry, yeah. So
So this is like a John Wick prequel.
yes, precisely.
Okay.
How you know that? On September 2nd, 1992, Connie Warner's body was found in a vacant lot in Baton Rouge. So about 10 days later.
Do we know why or how they knew each other?
He's let's just say the peeping just never really left the repertoire.
That's kind of a funny word for what that is. Peeping.
Yeah, peeping.
And the puppies.
See, once again,
Peeping.
Peeping. That sounds like you eat an excessive amount of peeps which once again comes back to the blood sugar.
See, that's all he
Right
needed.
now.
That's all he needed was
So
the candy.
dumb.
They should have just let him have the candy.
He thought. Well, remember, he's mentally.
They created a monster.
He is not mentally up there. He doesn't have the same intelligence as everyone, right? So he thought peeping actually meant eating peeps. So he went to find this lady. Excuse me, do you have any peeps? Little did he know.
Yeah.
And the hammer
He
was just right
looking
there.
at her.
Yep. And he had poor
And then
communicative
she got-
skills, so he
Yeah.
wasn't really able
And then
to.
she freaked out. He didn't know what to do. He's like, a hammer. Hold on.
It
let me
adds
just,
up.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it does add up. You're right.
You know, if these lips get swollen enough, she can't yell anymore. Just keep
Oh my
hitting them.
God.
Yeah, I wasn't there. You might be right, for all I know.
I'm not inside his mind. Are you?
So,
Over here playing a game of what if, just assuming things.
so November 1st, 1992, he is arrested for a unrelated burglary and resisting arrest in Zachary, Louisiana. New Year's Day, 1993, he commits robbery and assault while awaiting trial for the burglary charge.
He needs a hobby that's not.
Real fucking
Illegal.
bad, though. April 3rd, 93, he's going to attack a teenage couple. They're essentially up at like Makeout Hill, and he's like,
Love
yeah,
is late.
I'm going to head up there. So, question number 3.
Gosh, we're only on the third one.
Yeah, there's 13, I believe, tonight.
okay.
So, question number
Lucky
3.
13.
With what type of weapon will he attack them? Is it A,
Oh, dang it.
a knife, B, a scythe, C, a gun, or D, machete? Knife, scythe, gun, machete. Essentially 3 stabby McHack weapons and a gun. Yeah.
So you got to think regionally here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Go?
sure.
Okay. What is a gun?
Tiffany says a gun.
I went with the numbers game. Played it safe. I went knife.
Went
Even though
knife.
scythe was on the tip of my tongue.
Ooh,
I'll tell you.
ooh.
But fun to say, though.
I don't even know what a scythe is.
Think like Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper.
Oh.
For sowing
The
your
curve-
wild oats.
Yes.
the
indeed.
curvy, pointy.
The most violent
thing.
oat sowing you can do.
That is right. That is
Okay.
right. You sound very passionate about scythes.
I always wanted to be a scyther. A scythist.
Yeah, well, neither of you are going to score points on this, unfortunately, which means it was either a machete or a scythe,
Dang, really?
and it was a scythe. Yeah, so
My hopes and dreams were crushed and also just brought into life at the same time.
Where do you get what?
Where makes sense. He has to carry that thing. all the
That
way
is
up to
a
make out
large
hill.
weapon.
He better be
yeah,
driving
and
that.
How you can't even like conceal it?
Where do you get a case for that in that day and age?
so they say that it was
You're
a
a scythe
6-foot harvesting scythe.
Oh,
So it was 6 feet tall.
like he brought it with him, or he
Yeah.
found it there?
I think he was
or-
looking for some. He knew some kids would be up there.
It might have been like a one you put together in pieces, like as a
I was just
4K
gonna
sight.
say like a
Oh.
sniper rifle.
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
assassin movie.
You know, he had
it
his,
stretches out like a manadoc.
he had it in like a pool cue case. And you're like, oh, this guy's just
Yeah,
going to play
yeah.
some billiards. All right, that's not weird in this park at all. And then he just starts pulling out these
Putting
sticks
together-
and twisting them
putting
together.
together the scythe.
Then the blade comes out, and you're like, oh, I don't know. Then that little handle in the middle, and you're like, oh, yep.
Yep. Then he gets like a sharpening stone just to really like make it extra scary. So before he gets there, you hear
Plucks a hair and drops it on the top and watches it split like Elmer Fudd with an axe.
Yeah, precisely. Well, hyperbole aside, he had a 6-foot harvesting tool and attacked
It happened
a
just like that.
teenage couple. He attacks them, but the thing is, with this, he's not going to be caught for this. This is something he'll be connected to later. He didn't kill either of them, but they both did get wounded from the scythe. They were able to run. I can't imagine you're able to swing a scythe a lot of times
You
in a
get
very
1 to
quick.
2, yeah.
A 6-foot scythe. You know, even a baseball bat's not super efficient because it takes a lot to wind up a baseball bat and swing it back down again. A 6-foot scythe, even with that sweet little like extra handle, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like you're still. It's gonna. As someone who's shorter than 6 feet, I feel like I might struggle to use.
Yes,
such
no,
a
out
tool.
of all those weapons, it is definitely the slowest. It only has one, murder mark for speed.
Yes,
You know what
But
I mean?
it's about contact. It's about quality of contact.
Oh,
because if you make contact with a sharp scythe, I mean, you're doing damage.
Oh, it's got 7 out of 5 for badass points, easily.
I think that.
Plus,
that
if you wear a cloak, you look like death.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like if you're just going for like the ultimate, you should just walk up real slow, dragging a 6-foot scythe behind you.
You don't even need to like kill someone.
You might
Damage
just kill
done.
them anyway, right?
I'll just.
They just die of heart attack.
But
right
imagine
then and there.
the victims. They're like healing from their wounds, and somebody asks them, you know, oh dang, like what happened? Here's a old scythe injury, you know.
After you heal up from that wound, you think you can come help me harvest the wheat? Or
They're rocking back and forth.
Yeah. So in May of that same year, he's finally going to be sentenced from that previous burglary that he committed assault while he was waiting for the trial on. He served the assault time. Now he's finally going to be sentenced to it. Question number 4. How long will he be sentenced for this crime? In years. This one is guess only. So only one person is going to score. How many in years? 250 points to the closest.
For the burglary.
For the burglary, yes, correct. It's hard to keep up with because he did nothing but commit crimes. So some of these crimes are going to kind of intertwine here. I'll do my best to Tarantino them together.
Trust me, I understand the court system. Like it.
That's exactly it. Some of these are like 4 years later, but they're like, well, you committed these other crimes. We're going to need to see you for these too.
This is his sentence.
Mm-hmm.
What was he sentenced to for this burglary?
Burglary.
What do we got?
I don't need to write it down.
What do you say?
Well, because you could change your answer after I change my, or after
That's
I say
why
my
that's why we'll
answer.
take his first.
I will go first since we're alternating here. I am going to say, and this is on the high end, I'm going 2 years.
Saying 2 years. You think his invincibility streak continues?
It's
Essentially.
well, you said they brought it down to trespassing. So, I mean, trespassing with assault is, I mean, this day and age, you're just getting a high five and don't do that again. But
This is 1993. Yeah. All right, so critic says 2 years.
Oh, I went way higher.
So how
Not
way
crazy.
higher did you go?
I went 8 years.
8 years, so not crazy.
Not insane, but definitely not 2.
Critic gonna take 250 points out of this one because you guys are both kind of, on the right track. It is 4 years. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be sentenced to 4 years for that previous burglary.
4 years.
So a 250 point lead for critic. But what y'all don't even know is we're already at question number 5 of his 4 years. How long did he serve?
Oh, I knew it.
2, 3, 4, or did he get in a little trouble and have to serve 5 years?
Oh, you're trying to, I know what you're doing over there. I see you. It's a little twinkle in your eye.
I'm like a quiz master.
I know, it's when you have the blue Scantron in front of you and you don't know, so you just mark C all the way down.
He's doing anything. He's trying to honey dick me with that 5, though. I see what you're doing over there.
Wait, so the choices are 2,
2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is 1 year longer than his original sentence.
What year was this?
This is 1993. Louisiana.
I'll go with 3. C. 3.
No, that was B.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, Tiffany says 3.
I'm going to go with a right down the middle 2. Halftime.
2. Halftime. Take a rest and also get 250 points. Gonna take a 500 point lead here. It's 750 to 250.
Boo.
Thanks to my brother, I am well informed about the
Womp
legal
womp.
system.
Yes.
Just kidding. Love you, brother.
Hope,
You'll
you're listening.
You'll never hear this.
On July 6th,
You can't read.
1995, he is released from prison. So he, 2 years of his 4-year sentence. They can't hold him down. They just can't hold down
so
Derrick
slippery.
Todd Lee. July 7th to the 10th, he decides to move his family to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Nice big move. A couple days, get
His
it done.
family?
Yeah, his wife waited for him.
Kids?
I think that his wife came with 2 children.
Okay.
I don't believe that biologically either were his, but he was
Couldn't quite
he
figure
was
out.
he was involved in some type of father role whenever he was around. So September 6, 1995, he's arrested for peeping at a neighbor's nearby. He just cannot control the urges. I think any sane person can see themselves ramping up here, right? But he's not either not sane or not intellectually capable of understanding that, like, you fucking slow down. Put your foot on the brakes.
Well, he learned from a very young age. If you just do a little violence,
Yeah,
it's all right. You're not gonna get caught. It's cool.
it's cool, man. We don't
all
get you in
good.
trouble for anything around here.
Do we have any more like detail on this peeping situation? Like,
Was it
what did
around
like-
March? Was it like a late March situation? Because this is like
'cause that's a high peep season.
this is peak season.
So
Peak.
he does not discriminate season nor month. He peeps whenever he feels like peeping.
it's very
To be
progressive of
specific,
him.
this is in September, so some fall peeping here.
Well, okay, he was referring to the seasons. I'm wondering, like, what is he just trying to look through windows? Is he trying to like?
He's rubbing them out
jerk?
outside the
Okay.
windows. Yeah.
Blech.
And he's very
Wait,
serial
inside the pants
visitor.
or outside the pants?
Ew,
that I do
blech.
not have the details of. Yeah, I
That's
suppose
more
it
of
would
a-
be if you wanted to leave any evidence behind or not.
I mean, just how bold is the man?
Right.
I don't know. He's feeling pretty confident lately.
Yeah, but he's a serial visitor. Like, he'll find a house that he likes,
Ew.
and I think that's why he gets caught, because I think if he does it once and rolls, the odds are very low. But he finds someone he likes, and he keeps going back and
so
keeps going back,
fucking creepy.
and then he finally gets caught. Some of the women that he will end up murdering will have told their family, like, for the past few weeks, it's weird. Like, I feel like
Oh
something's
god,
watching
that
me.
creeps me the. Bleh.
Yeah.
All I can think of though with the peeping thing is the scene from Little Nicky with John Lovitz on the branch, pretending he's the bird, like peeping on the mom. Anybody know? What I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is the most lighthearted peep scene in all of cinema. Please do yourself a favor.
And what? Popeye's chicken is the shiznit. Adam Sandler used to be a national treasure. It's so sad what he's done. I'm proud of him.
Poor
he's made
rich
just like
bastard.
$1 billion. Yeah, but So yes, he's peeping a lot. September 24th, he is arrested for robbing a Salvation Army clothes drop off.
Oh my god.
He wanted
Yeah.
first dibs.
You
That's a
guys
smart
know
man.
that trailer where there's no money and it's just the goods that everybody's turning in before the Salvation Army then cleans it up and puts a price tag
He
on
wants
it.
to pay $3 for that shirt. Now he's getting it at cost.
Yeah, so I don't understand what this was about. There's no money there. Did he think there was money there? Did he?
Did he just need clothes?
I would think maybe he's looking for a suit for a job interview. Why do you guys got to be so negative about it?
Yeah, no, I'm
He's
trying.
about to turn his life around.
Yeah. that
I'm
was
trying
it.
not to be, but yeah, I was gonna say I've got all the spoilers though, so it's.
I hate to break it to you.
Yeah,
he
then-
keeps fucking up.
I'm still holding out. Oh, he's going to turn it around.
There will be some job interviews in the future, so I shouldn't say that he's never going to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Yeah, maybe he just needed some clothes. It's very true, but I think there are like shelters and churches and things where you don't have to rob, who are happy to help you out with an outfit or two if need be. Perhaps he wasn't aware of those resources and
Maybe-
thought that robbing the Salvation Army
Maybe
truck
he just
was...
needed a cheap thrill.
I'm like, well, he wasn't the brightest bulb, so maybe he literally thought there was an army of salvation in that.
He's
He
like,
Amelia Bedelia'd it and just thought it was quite literal.
it says right there. Yeah, I don't hate that theory. So, yeah, I what the fuck? He doesn't get in a ton of trouble for this either, because I think also the police are like, what the fuck? What did you? Oh, you
Like,
got some
You're
cords?
wasting my time.
Yeah, what do you get some corduroys out of that? Good for you.
Oh, I
Good for
miss
you.
corduroys.
Oh, they're back. Cords are back in
Oh,
a big way.
hey, go home in the bedroom, bottom drawer on the right, third pair down. You can borrow them. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I
you
got
could-
you, girl.
September 26th. This is after the robbery. He's kind of let off for it. He does spend 2 nights in jail. He moves his family back to St. Francisville. He could be back at home. I think he's feeling better there. February 1st of 1996, his father-in-law dies in a plant explosion at his place of employment. His daughter and Derrick's wife receives a $250,000 settlement from the plant. So he dies in an industrial accident. And within just a few months, they say, like, here, we'll give you $250,000. Shut the fuck up for a while, right?
Dang.
And she's like, yup. And so September 1st, she's feeling Derrick's bearing down on her, saying, like, when are you going to give me in the money? And he doesn't really have access directly to it. It's in her name. And she's starting to feel a little unsafe, and she purchases a 25 caliber handgun. An interesting choice.
Yeah, I was like, is that a thing anymore?
Nah, in 1996, it must have been that hot shit. Or she bought it on the streets of St. Francisville. Either way, she bought it to protect herself.
Weren't they somewhere else now?
Nope, they moved back.
Oh, he said
just
home
back
base.
to St.
Back to the dojo, yes.
Yep. February 11th, Derrick Lee is arrested for DWI after failing a sobriety test once pulled over. Question number 6. He will apply for his commercial driver's license right after this DWI. How long until he gets that commercial driver's license? Is it A, 8 days, B, 60 days, C, 180 days, or D, 600 days? 8, 60, 180, or 600?
I think it's your turn.
It's not, but I'll go. 180 days there, Bob.
180 days.
That's my answer too.
Double 180. Well, you guys should have just thought Derrick Todd Lee and known that 8 days later he would receive his commercial driver's
GD.
My boy Derrick don't mess around. He gets stuff done. See?
Not one
No, but like
bit.
how I'm so confused how that even happened.
My guess is still 97. Louisiana Department of Motor Vehicles, maybe not fully computerized by then. He's like, oh shit, I got to get this done, and just gets all the paperwork in for the DWI.
Got it.
I don't know that's for sure, but it seems like a very tight window to have
180
made that
days,
happen.
3 months. That seems like a short period of time, but
Yeah.
6 months. 6 months seems like, your usual
Yeah,
permit
right.
period.
Yes, exactly.
You take a couple classes, read a couple books.
And now you can drive anything.
Now you can drive a big rig.
There you go. Bwomp, bwomp. February 19th, 1997, 8 days after his DWI arrest, he does indeed receive his commercial driver's license. On the same day, I suppose he thought he needed to celebrate, but was stopped by Zachary, Louisiana police for suspicion of peeping. But at this time, he was not charged, even after a positive witness ID. It sounds like the fine police around Baton Rouge at this time were not real keen on the paperwork it took to ride up a peeping Tom. That's what it sounds like to me.
Back before digital age, that was hard.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel was rampant.
So he's a peeping Tom that just can't stop. March 1st, 1997, judge rescinded state order to suspend his driver's license after the state failed to respond to a motion of discovery. So they catch up to his antics. Oh shit! You got a deal with DWI. You can have this commercial driver's license, and so the DMV puts in this thing for the state. Like, all right, well then prove it and just get us this. And the state never responds to that. So Derrick Todd Lee once more
created a monster,
beats the system, and they're like, "Hey, look, the state never responded. We're not taking your license, man. They got to do that. So, congrats, you beat it.
You are less lazy than the state. Good job.
Yes,
you are
precisely.
You are
that.
more.
You're
doing less than the state is, but by you doing nothing, you're doing more than the state, who was also doing nothing.
You win.
Sounds exactly right. Yes. So we'll take a little break right here. We'll come back. Tiffany brought something for us, so we'll take a breather. Come back, or I'll kill you. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 63 of the Serial Chillers podcast. You're back so we don't have to kill you. May 1st, 1997 is where we left off. But what we're going to do before we jump back into it is Tiffany brought us a little something here today. It's not necessarily a story, she said, but she's got some fucking information to share, and you guys are here to listen, all right? So just listen.
You're going to learn.
Learn
You're
yourself.
gonna learn today.
You're going to learn.
Yeah.
So, my Google history is really questionable now.
Well,
Trying to
welcome
search
the
for
club.
a proper something to share today.
Stick to Reddit, and you don't have to Google a bunch.
So-
That's what I try to do.
We talked about Reddit last time, and I still
Yeah.
don't understand what it is.
I'll get you hooked up on it
Ugh.
if you want. It's
Just
a good
seems-
source. Good
It's what
source.
those young whippersnappers are using these days. Okay, so today I brought an article that is titled 15 Signs of Psychopathic Behavior in Children.
Boom. We can directly use this.
So I'm
Taking
going to
notes?
go,
Yep. You know, you can have
parents
these
out
notes.
there,
I'm leaving
take
for you.
notes, get your paper and pen now. So I thought we'd just go through these 15 signs and just kind of like have a discussion on
Yeah.
each of them.
Sure.
A round table at a square table.
I like it.
Yes. Okay, so I have first kind of the definition, not really the definition, but just like the differences between a psychopath and a sociopath. The simple difference, I guess. A sociopath is sort of an umbrella term. It's just the broad term for antisocial personality disorder. It's considered the less severe of the two. Sociopaths tend to blend in better with society, whereas psychopaths are definitely more severe, and they definitely are more dangerous, more everything.
Sociopaths
So-
are the one that can like fake the emotion and like mimic human emotion.
Like me.
Psychopaths. Yeah, like Greg. And then psychopaths are the ones that just,
Yes.
they're the weirdos.
So
Like me.
They drag scythes up hills.
So psychopaths are sociopaths, but sociopaths are not necessarily psychopaths.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, just had to get that out of the way. Okay, so this list goes from 15 down to 1, and there are a lot of what I consider repeats. Like they could have just gone with like top 10,
Okay.
but they wanted to just
got real
add in-
specific?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of repeats, I think.
Does your kid like creamy peanut butter?
They got paid per word.
They didn't have a thesaurus. They didn't. They need to Google the word synonym.
Okay, 15. Number 15 is, or 15, the 15th sign of psychopathic behavior in children is hurting others. Big surprise. So the,
Yep, you nailed that one.
you know,
We've heard it, seen it.
nailed
It's
it.
sad.
So, one of the most famous examples of child or teenage killers that will probably spring to mind for most people are the Columbine school shooters. And I crossed out their names and called them Fuckface 1 and Fuckface 2 because they don't deserve their names to be said on any sort of...
It's kind of fun to say though.
Dang it!
Greg can edit it. He'll bleep it. Greg, bleep. It's just fun. I just want to say it. Fucking.
It's like a bad word
know,
in Star Wars or something.
I
like,
read that too and I was like, I don't
Hotosito.
even... Many psychologists who have studied Fuckface 1 and Fuckface 2 and the writings they left behind after their deaths and have concluded that, oh geez, Fuckface 2 was likely a psychopath. Despite often displaying a likable face to the world, Fuckface 2's psychopathy may have motivated the deadly school massacre. 13 people were killed that day and many others injured. Not all killers are psychopaths, however... Fuckface 1 is believed to have suffered from other issues and is not viewed as a true psychopath like his partner in the terrible crime.
He's a fucking follower.
Sheep.
say no.
Bleep. Bleep.
It's
Bleep.
fun to say.
Simple no might have fixed that one, but
Yeah.
you know.
It's beyond control.
Okay. That was hurting others.
Yeah.
The next one. We've talked about this already. Hurting animals.
You're not a fan of this, Tiffany.
No, and it makes me want to cry.
Well, that's understandable. Animals are.
Like, I am just especially emotional about anything that is a baby animal. Not even like baby humans, but like...
I mean, I get it. I feel that
Baby animals.
kids and animals strike a chord with me for sure.
Well,
Like
I mean,
it's a.
So sad.
Baby people, they're meant to get beat up a little bit, though. They're so rubbery and stuff. You can drop them, you could throw them around. Like,
Yeah.
that's how we've survived, is being
Right.
able to be, you know,
Right.
kicked around a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, a puppy, on the other hand,
Yeah,
it's only meant for hugs and kisses.
God
That is it.
damn it! That is it. Those two things. You don't
One
even need to feed it
purpose.
initially. Just hugs and
They
kisses.
survive off love.
Everybody knows that. I have one dog I can contest. Almost 6 years old, never fed him once.
Just
Only
living
love.
on love.
Only love.
At the end of this episode, there'll be a disclaimer that's like,
We
Serial
have
Chillers
fed
podcast.
we have fed our
must
dogs.
let you know that everybody on the show does in fact feed their dogs.
No animals were harmed in
We will go live on Instagram tonight for a feeding.
Okay, so Hurting animals. Abusing animals is a major sign of psychopathy in children. We're not talking kicking the dog or yanking on the cat's tail. We're talking sadistic torture and murder. If you study the backgrounds of many serial killers, you'll often find that their first victims were animals. It may start with the family pet and move on to stray dogs or cats in the neighborhood or things like squirrels that can be caught in the woods. Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Ted
Dahmer
Bundy
loved that shit.
are all said to have tortured animals in their childhoods before going on to murder people as adults.
Can we just take one moment to admire the resiliency, though? How hard is it be for just a regular person to catch a squirrel? That's hard, you know?
Yeah.
If you torture a squirrel, I mean, at least you put some work in to catch it, and that's...
Or at least you had
But
some
what if it
type
was
of
like a
sweet
baby
trap.
squirrel
Almost
and that was like their
admirable.
little nest? They're not going to be...
They are harder to catch. They are just
No.
faster and small.
And they haven't like opened their eyes.
You remember Richard Chase getting caught running around in the desert, and when they found his clothes, he had like a cow's liver in his pocket?
Yeah, and he was just like covered in cow blood.
Yeah,
That's-
nude,
Yeah, that's right. He was naked, running through the desert,
In
covered
what pocket?
screaming.
in cow blood. Well, they like went back to his car and they found like a bucket of blood, and there was like a kidney in the bucket, and he had like a liver in his like jacket
Oh, I
pocket.
was like,
sounds
he's
like a man-
naked. What pocket is he holding the liver
Just sounds
in?
like a man prepared,
prison
all right?
pocket.
He was like,
yeah.
I might get hungry later. Liver's really rich in vitamins,
That's
High in
not-
iron.
know?
that's
Yeah.
not true, yeah.
So, the connection between abusing animals and psychopathy is so great, in fact, that the FBI has begun tracking cases of animal cruelty and in its annual report on crime. And I actually looked up what this I guess database is, and it's called the National Incident Based Reporting System, NIBRS. And there are 4 categories of animal abuse. 1 is gross neglect, 2 is torture, 3 is organized abuse, and 4 is sexual abuse, which makes me want to vomit.
Yeah.
Blech.
It's tough.
Well, obviously you're not an animal abuser, so.
Oh, here, I brought some visuals.
Or
for
it's a
us
great
here.
cover.
Okay. Number 13.
Dang.
We're counting
It's
down.
a sad movie.
Remember that came
Frequent
out?
lying. So I brought in, it was part of the article. It's a picture of the movie cover, The Good Son, which I've never seen, so I don't
Really?
know.
When he's holding him on the cliff.
Oh.
Oh, man, that, when I was a kid, I was like, come on, man, McAllister, get it together.
Okay, number 13 is frequent lying. In a psychopathic child, the lying will be constant. What's more, whereas a normal child might become upset or cry when they're caught in their lie, a child displaying psychopathic tendencies is more likely to get angry and become aggressive if their lie is exposed. The way they see it, they're not at fault for being honest. You're in the wrong for catching them at it.
So they're just mad defensive, even when you do
Yeah.
catch them. It's like, why? Fuck you. Fuck you, Mom.
Okay, number 12, lack of empathy.
This is like the classic. This is like
I
what I
know.
think when I, like, probably the first thing I would say when someone's like, what's a psychopath? It'd be like, someone who doesn't,
Have any empathy.
yeah, there's no empathy.
They're just robots. They're all okay. Okay. Psychopathic children don't really experience emotions the same way that a well-adjusted normal child would. They don't understand the frustration, anger, and pain, whether emotional or physical, they cause, so they aren't affected by it. This is what makes it so easy for them to hurt others and lie and steal. Their lack of empathy is actually something that can be seen in scans of the brain and other tests. In one study, researchers showed psychopathic people images of people being hurt, whereas a normal person's body and brain would react, a psychopathic person's does not. Interestingly enough, though, if researchers asked the psychopathic subject to try to empathize with the person in pain they were seeing in the images, they were capable of doing so. Like, it's on command?
Like, you just got to be like remind them what to do.
I just read that for the first... I kind of perused this article.
No worries.
But they could... That's crazy. That's crazy. It's...
Hey, feel now. And they're like,
Yeah. Oh.
I command you to feel.
it hurts.
It seems lacking empathy can be a choice for them. Weird.
What is this feeling?
For the rest of us, empathizing with others is something we simply have no control over. That is nuts. Okay, number 11, bullying without remorse.
Yeah, whatever, nerd.
So
He doesn't
this
even feel
one-
anything about that either.
Look at
Straight face.
it's good water.
Bullying without remorse. So this part of the article had actually a video, and I think it's a pretty popular video of Beth. Have you seen it? It's this really old, I mean, I don't know if old is really the right description for it. It's still in color, so it's not black and white, but it's this video of a 6.5-year-old girl named Beth. She was adopted, and so they didn't go deep into it, but she was abused before.
This is like the psycho kid that wanted to kill her brother and parents. Yeah, it was like an HBO special.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like a little mini clip of, I guess, that HBO special.
So it's not the Kiss song. No. Okay.
Sorry.
No, but that is such a good song.
But they
Touche.
basically like describe how she bullied her brother John. So like in the middle of the night, she would, get up from her room, go to her brother's room, and just like punch him in the stomach, like repeatedly, apparently. So they had to lock her in.
Yeah,
her
they started
room at
locking
night,
her into a room.
which is nuts.
I do
Like,
that too,
that's.
but just my brother's a dick. So.
But she would also take her brother, and they'd be like, I guess, in the basement or something, and little brother is playing with his whatever toys, and she ends up bashing his head on the cement floor of the basement, and he's like screaming, "Stop, stop!" And
I think she's like sitting on top of him.
yeah, and the only reason she stops is because she thinks that she hears her parents coming.
Poor, like, can yell stop. Like
He's yelling,
Not
like,
even a
stop.
strong enough kid to do any real damage. Just being an asshole, bouncing your head around, giving you a headache. Do a
But
push-up, girl,
It
man.
was crazy just watching her, and she was just talking
So
so
nonchalant about
yeah, it was
it,
matter
yeah.
of factly, and like the psychologist who was interviewing her is just asking these very straightforward questions, and she would just talk about it like it was, nothing.
Yeah. I want to kill mommy and daddy. Like she was just
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
And like how would you do it? I'd stab them.
Yeah, with a knife.
Yeah, and knives would go missing in their house.
Yeah, I want to say they found one like hidden inside of a teddy bear or some shit like that.
So nuts. And I should have I wish I had more time. I would have looked up like what happened,
She's totally normal now. She is a psychologist herself, I
No.
believe. Yes, or like some type of thing. She's
wonder-
very well adjusted and a very
Good.
normal person now.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I just wonder how she looks back at that, interview.
She actually went to like a very highly like controversial youth camp that pretty much they just beat the shit out of them with Christianity. And they God the psychopath out of her.
Little Jesus juice.
Yeah, a little Jesus juice, but it worked, I guess. So they hypnotized her and did the damn God thing, and she's good now. Apparently,
one
she's not
day.
running a cult or anything.
Till one day someone says a magic word and she Manchurian candidates.
Yeah,
A lot
Greg
of
knows.
people.
You're getting Greg excited over there.
Put your pants back on, Greg.
She also hurt animals,
just kidding,
and that's
don't.
just a side note. But she took a bunch of baby birds out of their nests. Their eyes weren't even open, and she broke their necks.
Yeah,
Life can be cruel,
can be.
It makes me so sad. Okay. Bullying without remorse. Stealing for pleasure is number 10. And I guess kids will just steal just because. And they will
Thrill.
I wonder what kind of weird
continually-
stuff you'll take those
Well, okay.
for pleasure.
For pleasure, the list is here. It says money, food, and the possessions of their family members are popular targets for psychopathic children.
That's
I think
anybody
it's just
that
whatever.
steals.
No, it doesn't. I feel like for them, it's not about what they're stealing. It's
Yeah.
about
That they're
just
stealing it
taking
from someone who
somebody.
needs-
That's what I'm saying. I
Yes.
wonder what random stuff that has been taken. Like, hey, did you take my hair dryer?
Yeah.
Like,
Why would I take your hair
Evil
dryer?
laugh.
yeah, like.
Greg, you just ever go taking people's things randomly, or
As often as possible.
all right, very good.
Why do you have 4 melon ballers?
Because I use one for every type of melon.
See,
And
that's
eyeballs.
a perfectly reasonable response. Okay.
So, to borrow an example from popular culture, Harry Potter's nemesis, he who shall not be named,
Voldemort. Oh, sorry.
Voldemort,
I coughed when I said Voldemort.
is seen
No,
as a
you
young
said it 3
boy.
times. Now he's going to show up.
Voldemort is seen as a young boy stealing from other children in the orphanage where he lived. He doesn't particularly covet the things he's taken, but seems rather to enjoy the knowledge that he's deprived his victims of something they cared about or enjoyed.
Thick.
Number 9, extreme tantrums. Parents.
Yeah, they all experience them.
Yes.
I hope. If
Every child out there's a psychopath.
if you just have to go by number 9, for sure, my kids are psychopaths.
Extreme tantrum. So this one, as I was reading, is really all about control, which is why it seems to escalate to such an extreme level. It's not just like crying and whining.
I've seen adults throw
but,
tantrums.
like-
I know what you're
I've
talking
seen
about.
adults.
Yeah. I worked retail for 15 years, holding it down.
Normally, tantrums will be a few minutes, but in a psychopathic child, however, a tantrum can be a daily occurrence that can last for hours at a time.
These are the kids that like the police get called out for, that like their mom can't control. She's like, shut up, Carol, you're a fucking bitch.
Carol.
It's just like,
And then they go on.
Listen, Carol.
Then they go
Hi,
on,
911. I need you to come out and get my son. He's 6 years old, but he said he's going to cut my bitch throat.
Oh man. Then you book them on Maury, and then they release an album.
I know
You
somebody.
are the father.
I know somebody who was a police officer who had to detain a 7-year-old with a knife.
Wait, the 7-year-old had the knife.
7-year-old
Oh,
had
okay.
a knife, so they had to
had the knife and used it to
Hey.
detain the 7-year-old.
they had to like arm bar the 7-year-old
so
and get the
bad,
knife out of their arm because he was like the 7-year-old had held up the police officer I know, her partner, and the mom.
I absolutely could not be a cop because
And
right
they were-
then and there, I would just knock hell out of that 7-year-old and be like, "You're fucking 7."
Well, that's what they said. They were
Like-
like, well,
You need to
I
be
thought
scared
about
straight.
tasing them almost instantly, but I can't even imagine the
mean-
fallout that would
Oh,
come
yeah,
with tasing a
for
7-year-old.
sure.
the hand eye though, it gets that first swoop. You're 2-on-1 the wrist. That weak ass 7-year-old.
That was pretty much exactly how she said it went down. They just rushed him and he
Yeah,
panicked.
it's gonna get
Sweep
one
the
swipe,
leg.
2-on-1,
And then they sent him to therapy,
kick
right?
him down.
I honestly don't know how the story ends because as she is the officer, there's not a whole lot of follow-up I think that she's involved with really other than just the incident. So, sorry, continue.
Okay, so the tantrums can be triggered by the slightest things and even be things that the child doesn't actually care all that much about.
Just fighting to fight.
Yeah, exactly. Tantrums in a psychopathic child can be less about their own feelings and more about exerting control over their parents or even punishing them. And as I was reading this, I was thinking about something I
I'm gonna need to
witnessed
borrow
today.
that page when you're done.
Hang on the fridge.
Yeah, easy access. So today I saw this girl. She must have been, I don't know, 7 or 8. And she was playing on her mom's phone, and then her mom asked for it back. And I'm not even paying attention because it's like every kid is on their phone all the time.
Right.
And it's just, whatever. So mom wants the phone back. Girl starts whining about it. Like, no, mom, like, please, I really just want to, I don't know what she wanted. She wanted to download some sort of app and get friends. I don't know.
Crush some candy.
Crush some
Yeah.
candy. And mom, obviously was saying like, no. And all of a sudden she goes from like 0 to 60 and I turn around because I am just like appalled at
You're like,
what
I
is
gotta fucking
happening.
see this.
And she's like, you don't even know. You have no idea. I know way more about it than you do. Like, you have no idea. And just claiming that she knows more than her mom about something on the phone. And it was just one of those situations where you're just like, you're 7. Like, shut up. That is your mother.
Was she wrong though? I mean, maybe she knew
No,
more.
she was being 8. Oh, man. Like, no, she was being...
I like the Louis C.K. when says his daughter calls him Pig Newtons, and he's like, "Hey, I can fucking read. It's right here. It says pig."
Number 8. See, this is a long list, and you're going to see, I'm going to skip over some of them because they're repeats. But number 8, being manipulative, a.k.a. number 13, frequent lying.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. I could see why they'd separate it, but they should have put them
be
together.
lying.
It's like
lying
kind of the
with
same
purpose.
thing.
Yeah,
They literally
right.
in the
Guided
description.
lying.
Yeah,
Yes, I like that. More specific lying.
I suppose.
Yeah. But I don't disagree. I think that it could have been one as well. The
Yeah.
top 10 list would have been just
exactly. 10 is a good number.
fine. Frequent lying and manipulating. Number
There
7.
you go.
Hey, I'm in. What do you know?
So I'm gonna skip over that one.
They're like, we do only top 15 lists here at top15.com. So you want to write a 10 item. we need to find 5 fillers.
Yeah, but what if somebody comes out with a top 14 list?
No, there's no such thing as a top 14 list.
15 is the magic number.
Number 7, constantly needing stimulation.
Like they can't be left to their own devices.
Right. They're just kind of bored all the time, which is why they
Idle
are like
hands.
thrill seekers.
Yeah.
And they'll just do stuff just because.
They'll just like stab another kid with a pair of scissors, Mary Bell.
Past experience?
No, Mary Bell's like she's like, I want to say it was really early, like the 30s or 40s, but she like stabbed a kid with some scissors in the stomach.
In the stomach?
Yeah, and I want to say that she also killed another young boy, and then when the boy was dead, she went to the door of the parents and was like, can he come out and play? And they were like, no, he died, remember? Like thinking, she said, and she was like, no, I know, I want to see his body. Look up Mary Bell. It was actually one of our episodes.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
did it as a side story, but
That
there's a lot
is
more to look up.
creepy.
Yeah. Mary Bell was mad child killer.
Dang.
Sorry.
She's a child that kills and kills child. So
Yeah, she is
a
children
double
kill
whammy
children.
child
two-way
killer.
child killer.
Correct.
Good for
Correct.
her.
Yeah.
Playing both sides of the field.
Where was I? Oh, constantly needing stimulation. For a child who may be exhibiting psychopathic tendencies, however, that need for stimulation will be constant. Psychopaths crave all things new and exciting, so they can't stomach anything that's dull or routine. It also makes it hard for them to concentrate for long periods of time because they become uninterested. Seeking out stimulation and excitement can cause psychopaths to act impulsively, and some even cite it as the reason they commit crimes, just for the thrill of it. Just because. I'm gonna kill you just because.
Because why not? Because I haven't been caught doing 11 burglaries and peeping toms.
And only serving
So
2 years for it.
At the beginning of this, I was just kind of joking about me being a sociopath or a psychopath, but as you read through these, I'm checking a lot of boxes here, and
Self-assessment.
yeah, I've always kind of had my concerns and my doubts just because of the way I've reacted and interacted with people, but
I mean, at this point, I can just admit that that's why we do the show across the internet.
Maybe.
But I guess you've done okay. You're a high functioning.
Yeah, you're in the
Psychopath.
socio category.
yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
No, I mean, I honestly, I'm never gonna kill anybody. I don't have the follow through.
Number 6. Blaming others.
Pass the buck.
Most parents have heard their kids firmly declare, "It wasn't me," when something naughty has been done around the house. No matter how obvious the lie is, little kids will often stick to their guns and say someone else must have eaten that powdered donut despite the telltale ring of powdered sugar all around their mouth and on their hands. Blaming others is to be expected at times in little kids. They fear punishment or maybe are embarrassed about getting caught, so they look for a scapegoat.
Man, maybe they were just eating cocaine. Why you got to assume it's a cat powdered donut?
It wasn't me!
My daughter will always do that. She'll lie, and I'll be like, "It's fine," and she'll be like, "Okay, I thought you were gonna be mad, but I'm happy you're not mad. I did it." I'm like, "All right."
I guess it's
thank
a good
you,
way to
yes."
build trust.
Like, thank you for being honest. Like, I appreciate that.
In a child who may be developing psychopathy, though, the need to blame others will be taken to a whole new level. Nothing could ever possibly be their fault, so they'll automatically assign the blame to someone else. In the rare instance that a psychopath does admit to being at fault, they'll do so defiantly, without feeling or showing any sign of guilt or regret. So it's like, yeah, I fucking did it.
Wait,
Yeah, I bash his face in.
whatever. I do what I want.
Number 5, ignoring the rules.
My bad.
That's their whole life, though, right?
Yeah.
It's doing enough to seem normal for sociopaths, because psychopaths aren't really concerned with seeming normal.
I mean, per this article, it's just rules don't apply and they shouldn't apply, is what I got from it.
I see.
Number 4, lack of emotional response, aka number 12, lack of empathy, aka number 11, bullying without remorse. Get it together.
Yeah. See, we're already down to a top 11.
Top15.com. .net.
Ooh.
Sorry. Okay. So basically, they don't feel shit. Sometimes, let's see. What are my notes saying? They just don't feel anything.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, we've covered it twice already.
All right. They're like Dennis Reynolds. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the dentist system.
You would understand.
When I think sociopath, he's the first person that pops in my head.
Mac, I'm actually feeling feelings again. You remember feelings, right? It's like, Dennis, I feel feelings every day. Do you not feel feelings?
Is that a new thing for you?
Yes.
And actually, I feel like I read something recently. It was, I don't know what the context was, but it basically was a picture of a face that was scared. And this picture got shown to a convicted serial killer. And their response when they were asked, what is this feeling? They're like, I don't know what it's called, but it looks like someone who's about to be stabbed.
Ugh.
Isn't that crazy?
They like weren't
so
aware
creepy.
of the.
No, I have no idea what it's called, but this is what it
But
looks
I've
like
seen
when
this.
somebody's about to get stabbed.
So it looks like,
Like what?
they're gonna get stabbed, and I'm gonna get a boner.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Weird.
Okay, we're on number 3.
You.
Home stretch. Number 3, not showing remorse, aka number 12, lack of empathy, aka number 11, bullying without remorse, aka number 4, which we just covered, lack of emotional response.
So
We're
just like
skipping it.
long story short, their emotions are all out of whack.
Yeah.
They
They
don't
could have
think
just said that in one.
Yeah,
one
emotional
thing.
stability, not the strong point.
they're kind of like they push the random emoji button.
Yeah, yes.
It's not very.
It's a roll of the dice.
Number 2, they're not bothered by punishments.
This might even fit in with the other ones too.
I think
Hold me
so.
down.
I kept it separate, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I was being nice,
Right.
but basically, they're just saying that these kids DGAF,
Not one F.
not one. And then number 1, prolonged bedwetting, which we all know.
Finally, I get one. I'm with you, Greg.
No, that's the only one I don't
He's a
have.
psychopath.
And the animals thing. I've never messed with
So
animals.
that's one of the 3 on the
So
McDonald
you're
triad.
80%, Greg.
Yeah, I never fucked with animals, and I'm not a bedwetter.
Oh, that's not 80%. I see him thinking top 10. It's top 15. What's the math?
Yeah, but I definitely checked a whole bunch of those boxes, and so now I'm gonna do some introspection.
All I've got is I mean,
One.
I did have a later wedding. Well, I went away normally, then it came back for a couple of years, and it went away again. But
That's numbers 15 down to 1. So parents, go ahead and start evaluating your children.
Yeah, do it now.
Have fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're
luck.
psychopaths. I did the evaluation while you rolled through. We hit 15 of 15. So
We're not worried at all.
exactly. Thank you, Tiffany, for this story. Let's teach one of these two. Yes. So here, I'll even get you one of these two.
Mama, I killed Dean.
So I'm just hitting all the buttons on the soundboard now at this point, really. What'd you say, something funny? Greg, put that over when someone says something funny. So if you guys will remember, we left off with the judge rescinding the state order to suspend Derrick Lee's driver's license because he is motherfucking invincible. He gets in no trouble. And when he gets in trouble, they're like, how about like half of what we actually gave you? You good? Like, is that okay, Derrick Todd Lee? And he's like, I suppose. And that's how it goes down. So on May 1st, 1997, he's hired by Louisiana Ready Mix as a truck driver. On June 1st of the same year, Eugene Beaufontaine is murdered in Baton Rouge. Another victim thought to be that of Lee's. This is one that he does not admit to, but there are a lot of similar connections. So he's never actually connected to it, but it's one of the ones that is commonly believed to be Derrick Todd Lee. July 25th, 1997, he nearly ran over a coworker's car with his Ready Mix semi-truck and was demoted to driving cement trucks after this. This was not an accidental almost run over. This was like the coworker drove it out of the way right in time before it was going to be hit. So there was malice in it. So they were like, you can drive the smaller cement trucks now.
I didn't even realize that was a demotion. So now every time I see a cement truck driver, it's going to be like, ooh, buddy, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry, man. Keep
We're gonna-
getting there.
You could do it.
yeah, we're gonna take away a little bit of weight of that vehicle, but we're gonna give you a little more agility. So next time, maybe you don't miss.
Oh, jeez. Let's take you out of that agile beast and put you in a fucking rhino. So on January 1st, 1998, actually, sorry, let's take it back. He's being disciplined for substandard work in his cement truck. I don't think he was very happy with his
How
work.
do you
at
get
this
substandard
point.
work in a cement truck?
Derrick Todd Lee, yo.
You weren't parking in the right spot. You kept dropping cement on next to the driveways.
On January 1st, 1998, he enrolled in Diesel Driving Academy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He had to do this in order to get his commercial driver's license back that he lost by nearly hitting the coworker.
Oh, so he finally got it actually.
Yeah,
taken
so
away.
they revoked it, but all he had to do was sign up for a class to get it back. So some of his peeping Tom accounts are going to catch back up with him, and he is going to go to court for 6 of them. They're going to try him for 6 of them at the same time. He pleads guilty to all 6 counts. Question number 7. What will be his punishment for this? Does he get 2 years in prison, 2 years probation, 6 months in jail, or no charges?
What were the probations and charges?
2 years in prison,
Yep.
2 years probation, 6 months in county, or no charges.
Whose turn is it to go first?
I believe it is yours.
6 months.
6 months in county, says Tiffany.
I'm going to go 2 years proby.
2 years probation. And is going to extend that lead. It is 1,000 to 250. Plenty of time left. You got 6 questions to go.
There's still a chance?
There's still a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So 6 questions to go. You only technically need to get 3 right with him not getting them right. And it'd be tied right back up. So
You just need to get all of them right. Him not to get any right, and then
just do that. Just do that. Just get them all right from here on out. So yes, you're very right. He is sentenced to 2 years probation and psychological testing. January
finally.
and February of
Jeez.
1998, he attends 2 therapy sessions with Dr. Robert Snyder, a psychologist. February 1st, Snyder calls him a good verbal therapy participant in a letter to the court. That's nice.
Finally, a test he passed.
Right. Well, like what was he able to be verbal in his therapy sessions? Great. A lot of times
he
we'll
did
hear
great.
these doctors say like he's not crazy, like
He
out of context.
communicated using words.
Like yeah, exactly. Like a lot of them are like, oh, he's a very eloquent man. I don't believe that he's capable of committing any crimes any longer. And this guy's like, he was able to speak. So
He used words when he talked.
yeah,
release him.
yeah, that's.
And he probably had it with like one of those like sexy like Cajun accents though. Ooh.
Early in 1998, he's going to attack a woman named Michelle Chapman in a cemetery while she is visiting her deceased mother.
Oh, what the fuck?
In early March, Michelle Chapman identifies Lee in a photo lineup for the cemetery attack.
Good for her.
In April of 98,
What kind of attack are we talking about?
it was an attempted rape and a beating.
Oh, okay.
He's escalated from the peeping.
Yep.
It's like, we're just going to take this to the next level.
April 16th, 1998, he's fired from Louisiana Ready Mix for insubordination and for causing 2 accidents in 1 week.
Jeez.
April 18th, 1998, he rapes, beats, and stabs Randy Mebure in...
Is Randy a girl?
Randy is a girl.
Randy with an I?
So, yeah, Randy with an I.
Ah.
Rape, beat, and stab Randy Mebure to death in Zachary, Louisiana. On April 19th, West Feliciana Sheriff's deputies interrogated Lee in the Mebure investigation and confiscated a pair of his jeans at his home. Nothing immediately comes of this crime. 4/20, 1998, a man named Leroy Shorts, who was an acquaintance to Lee, told another man named James Odom that Derrick Lee had killed Randy Mebure. Odom reported this to the police. So there's just kind of this phone thing. Everybody's heard that Todd Lee did it, and this guy Odom's like, dude, fuck this. I'm not going to be any part of this. I'm just going to get it out there just in case. So he tells the police. April 1st, 1998, April 30th, 1998, the police began paying Leroy Shorts to inform them on Lee. So I'm not quite sure where the ethics are with that.
Leroy Shorts.
They start paying Leroy Shorts to inform them. That's where the original information came from. Odom gets fucked out of the whole situation. They're like, get out of here, middleman. On December 1st of 1998, he's going to, on the side, that's Derrick Lee, begin a relationship with Cassandra Green.
Is he still married?
He is still married. On June 1st, we don't hear a whole lot about him. He doesn't do a lot of work at home, let's say. June 1st of 99, Lee is put under surveillance for the Mebure investigation and began stalking Colette Walker. On June 14th, 1999, he pushed into Walker's apartment and attempted to persuade her into a date. Come on, baby. August 16th, 1999, Walker's neighbor Diane Holloway filed a complaint against Derrick, which was not pursued by police.
Why?
Who knows? A lot of paperwork. August 19th, 1999, Lee was caught by Walker's son while peeping into the apartment. So her son rolled up on him while he's peeping in. August 19th of 99, a warrant was issued for Lee's arrest for stalking and unlawful entry. On August 20th of 99, Lee was arrested for stalking and unlawful entry once more. The warrant was issued the 19th. He was arrested on the 20th. December 1st, 1999, he is bailed out of jail after being there for nearly 4 months. December 17th, 1999, he pleads guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 6 months in jail, but received credit for time served and 2 years probation. So he'd do 2 more months. December 17th, 1999, a woman named Cassandra Green, who he had met earlier and began dating briefly, called to report Lee was threatening to kill her. On January 19th, 2000, Green inquired about protective order from a court. Lee beat Green in a parking lot of Liz's Lounge and was arrested by West Feliciana Parish Sheriff's deputies. Green refused to testify, and Lee was sentenced to 1 year in jail. Without her testifying, they could only really give him the minimum. He could have gone away for a little longer. But I can imagine... Go ahead.
In addition to the escalation, he's getting more bold about it. I mean, like, the crimes are ramping up, but he's just like doing it in the face of anybody who might be like, beating somebody up in a parking lot is pretty fucking like on the nose. You know what I mean? It's not like you could be like, oh, that wasn't me. Especially in the late 90s, there were security cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're
he's not.
right.
He's not even trying to hide it anymore.
Well,
he's
and she's
like an out and out asshole
she
now.
has called the police and said, like, hey, this guy's fucking with me. Can you help? And they're like, we can't, though. Here's the thing.
Like Chief Wiggum, show me the knife. It has to be in your back, but not too deep, but it has to be able to stand up on its own.
I'm going to need 2 forms of ID.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. So, January 1st, 2001, he's released from jail for that crime that you did about a year in. So, March 1st, he is hired for a temporary position at the Dow Chemical Plant in Brusley, Louisiana. March through April, he began looking for Colette Walker again, someone that he had been stalking and peeping on prior. He wanted to find her once more.
I just want to check up, make sure she's all right.
Yeah. April 1st, 2001, he bought a Hyundai Accent with his wife.
Oh, no, that's the first sign right there. Okay, makes sense now.
And
no,
reunited.
It's a joke. It was April 1st.
And reunited with Green, whom he had beat in the parking lot. He is arrested for a simple battery on his wife on September 26, 2001. And the next day, he stopped showing up for work at Dow, but the battery charges are dropped. December 1st, 2001, he began working at Dow again. Question number 8, how long would he work there this time? This is just open here. You guys guess it on the nose. It's for 1,000 points or a comeback. If you are the closest to the answer, it's for 250 points. How long would he work there this time? You can answer in days, weeks, months, or years. All right. So how long would he do for this crime? Who's going to answer first?
I will lead the way here.
I'm sorry, not crime. How long would he work here?
Yeah, well, I mean,
you knew.
Maybe his quality of work was a crime. I'm going to say he went for the long haul. 2 months.
2 months.
I say 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
She called the month weeks.
So if we do 4 months, what did you say? 2 months?
2 months.
60 days. We're going to do 4 weeks and give her 28 and give her the points because he stayed employed for 40 days at Dow Chemicals this time before being laid off on January 11th. So, Tiffany,
that was the confidence boost.
Tiffany crawling back into this thing. We've got 5 questions to go. Plenty of time. It is Craddock 1000. Tiffany 500. We ready to fucking do this thing?
Let's do it.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. So, yes, January 11th, 2002, he is laid off from Dow Chemical. 3 days later, January 14th, he beat and stabbed Geraldine DeSoto to death in Baton Rouge. DeSoto's husband had initially been the primary suspect in her murder, but as the investigation progressed, DNA evidence linking Lee to the crime had been discovered. Although Lee was eligible for first-degree murder charges, the district attorney later would try to go for, second-degree murder charges because DeSoto had not been sexually assaulted, which meant the first-degree murder conviction would be harder to obtain. So he's settling for some conviction,
so
even though he
nuts how
doesn't
they do
believe.
that.
Yeah, even though he doesn't believe it's the correct one,
Right.
but he's like, I don't think I can get that one.
But
though.
they have to play this like crazy game, even though it's like, yeah, for sure you freaking killed her in first.
We can
degree.
agree on murder.
Right.
What?
No.
You mean the American justice system doesn't function? Get out.
No way, she'll say.
Come on.
So, yeah, I don't mean to spoiler alert a lot of his stuff, but
And
I
he
just thought
only
I'd
serves.
throw that in there. Yeah, exactly. April, we're going to go back in time again here. I was just getting ahead just to let you guys know how. Come on, he's always getting out of it, even if it's just downgrading his crime a little bit.
I think he needs to go back and maybe work on some magic tricks.
Yeah, it's not
Better
bad.
gamble.
Yeah.
Maybe a magic gambling.
Oh,
Magician.
Chris Angel.
Nah.
April 1st, 2002, he works 2 weeks at J.E. Merritt, another chemical plant. May 1st, 2002, he filed for and received unemployment. May 31st, 2002, he rapes and murders LSU student Charlotte Marie
What year
Pierce.
again?
2002.
Okay.
Student Charlotte Marie Pace has been stabbed 81 times with both a knife and screwdriver.
Good Lord.
Was strangled and has her skull crushed by an iron.
Is that a mixed media murder?
It was said that blood went from one end of the house to the other. So another time where quite a fight was put up. He murdered her with 3 different weapons across the entirety of her
Man's
home.
got
Like,
range. You can't
weapons
be
of
mad at that.
opportunity?
Yes, it does sound like that indeed. June 1st, 2002. I can't imagine him being a very good planner.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah.
I mean, I don't either. but
Screwdriver,
I'm
knife,
gonna bring a knife and a
rope.
screwdriver.
Yeah, exactly.
with me.
Maybe he had his tool belt on him.
Maybe so.
Constructing. Maybe he's, working, building houses for homeless veterans, and he had his tool belt.
I don't know. There's some serial killers out there. Have you guys done the toolbox killers?
We have not. We have not. Oh wait, Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We have not
Crazy,
done
crazy.
David Parker Ray, the other toy box killer. Toy box, not toolbox.
Those are crazy.
We'll get there. Yeah, that was one of the gnarliest ones that we ever did for sure.
I just ugh.
They have audio
that-
tapes
yes,
of them
Yes, and
murdering
people are like
people.
bawling and crying because they can't handle it.
Yeah, that was a heavy one. So, July 9th, 2002, Lee entered the St. Martin Parish home of Diane Alexander. Lee would beat Alexander severely and attempted to rape her, but he was unable to perform. Diane Alexander is the only known survivor of Derrick Todd Lee once he began his rampage, not those teenagers with a scythe. Alexander survived because her son walked in during the commission of the crime, frightening Lee out of the back of the house. Alexander's son chased Lee through the back of the house and was able to get a slight description of him and a description of his vehicle. They had details as to what Lee looked like, and on May 22nd of 2003, she was able to describe Lee to a police sketch artist. So this is one of the first times that they're going to identify this possible serial killer out here as an African-American male. It's 100% at this time been like, there's this guy out there, and there's already been a sketch released of him being possibly or being most likely a white man. Now they have a sketch where it's possibly a black
They
guy.
finally decided to shade in some spots.
And then later they're going to have a sketch where it confirms that indeed the guy they're looking for is a black guy. So between the DNA evidence gathered off of the deceased victims, a psychological profile made from Mary Ellen O'Toole, and the police sketch made on Alexander's description, the police went public with the information. At the same time, question number 9. When they go public, the media gives him a nickname.
These are fun.
What will it be? Will he be the ghost of Baton Rouge? The Louisiana Killer? The Cajun Killer? Or the Parish Slayer? Ghost of Baton Rouge, Louisiana Killer, the Cajun Killer, or the Parish Slayer?
The Cajun Killer
I
just sounds
know.
delicious.
I gotta say, Parish Slayer sounds just fucking metal.
Metal is, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So does the Ghost of Baton Rouge. Holy.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a good band name.
It's like an album, maybe? A live album?
By the Parish
Yeah, see,
Slayer.
like Ghost
Parish
of Baton
Slayer.
Rouge by Parish Slayer.
Parish Slayer live. The Ghost of Baton
Featuring
Baton
the
Rouge.
hits. Cajun Killer.
All right, what do we got, guys?
I went with the Louisiana Killer.
Louisiana Killer.
I went with the alliteration of the Cajun Killer.
The Cajun Killer. The media dubbed him the Ghost of Baton Rouge.
I didn't think the media would be that clever. Good for them. I'm proud of you guys.
Yep.
Sending it down to
Good
Louisiana.
on you, media. So nobody's scoring on that one. We've still got a 5,000 to 1 or 1,500 game. Still a chance. Still
And
plenty
the
of
Ghost
time.
of Baton Rouge and a scythe.
Yeah,
Dreams do come true.
they really do. And he didn't even have to BTK nickname himself like a bitch.
Yeah.
So police in the nearby town of
Lazy ass
Zachary.
nickname too.
Exactly.
They won't
BTK.
give you a nickname.
Come on, I would like to be called one of these 5 things. Please deliver. Also, can you track this floppy disk? So police in the nearby town of Zachary recognized the man by a recent Peeping Tom incident that they had just investigated. Police in Zachary called the police in Baton Rouge to let them know the name of this suspected perpetrator. Additionally, the Zachary Police Department also let the Baton Rouge Police Department know that they had DNA samples from Lee due to a prior murder investigation from 6 to 8 months earlier. So we talk a lot about police departments not sharing information with one another. This is dope. Zachary's like, yo, Baton Rouge, listen. I think we know who you're talking about, and we have a lot of shit on this guy. And Baton Rouge is like, Zachary, thanks.
Oh, my God.
You guys. Oh, my God. Don't even think about getting us a Christmas gift this year. So, Alexander's survival and description of Lee assisted investigators in the arrest. Alexander, the survivor again, felt she deserved the Lafayette Crime Stoppers public reward of offering of $100,000 for the information leading to the arrest of Lee. So she had been attacked by him. And her information led to his arrest in ways. So she is like, well, aren't you giving $100,000 to the person who found him? On or about August 14th of 2003, Alexander contacted Lafayette Crime Stoppers and inquired about the offer. It was then when Lafayette Crime Stoppers informed Alexander that she was not eligible to receive the reward. February 22nd of 2006, she hired an attorney to pursue the case. Crime Stoppers claimed that the reward offered expired on August 1st, 2003. She had called on August 3rd. Although Alexander had gone to the police, she did not contact Lafayette Crime Stoppers before August 1st, 2003. Furthermore, Lafayette Crime Stoppers claimed that she did not use the tipster hotline and thereby did not comply with the form, terms, or conditions required by Lafayette Crime Stoppers. The case was decided in Lafayette Crime Stoppers' favor, so they did not have to pay her. I just thought that was
man.
interesting.
Come on, Crime Stoppers.
I thought that was interesting to add in there that she was a victim of the crime. Was like, dude, come on, I'm helping you guys track this
And they were
motherfucker
like,
down.
nope.
They're like, yeah, but you didn't call the line, and then when you did, it was 2 days late. So
Like they didn't even try and meet in the middle.
no, they did not. They were like, how about fuck you? What do you think of that? July 15th, 2002, St. Martin Parish Police released a composite sketch and description of Lee's car in an attempt to find Alexander's attacker. September 4th, Colette Walker called a task force to provide Lee's name and background as a suspect. November of 2002, he's going to sign a car loan for one of his many girlfriends at this time. Not that he's necessarily on the run, like he's definitely being, looked at for a lot of things, but this motherfucker is wonderful at leaving a paper trail behind.
I mean, but can we address the elephant in the room here? This man's got good credit.
He must.
Apparently,
He
because
must.
He can just get a car loan. Like
He's just like co-signing on all
Yeah.
these things. Speaking of that car,
The car on fire.
question number 10. What kind of car
I'm so
was it
bad at
that he
these.
co-signed for? Was it A? And think 2002. These are all going to fit so well.
me.
Is it A, a PT Cruiser, B, a Volkswagen Beetle, C, a Dodge Neon, or D, a Chevy Cavalier?
these are the cars of the times. Holy shit! That's a
PT
fantastic
Cruiser,
list.
Volkswagen Beetle, Dodge
are-
Neon, or Chevy
These are literally
Cavalier.
like only like 2002 cars too.
Yeah.
Who was first?
I write a serial killer game show weekly. It's a thing I do. Write shitty questions about things.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate
Regardless
it.
of the answer, well done.
Thank you.
I would applaud you, but I'm gonna write down.
Here, I'll give myself one of these.
Thank you.
Here.
Give yourself a digital applause.
So PT
It's like a
Cruiser,
small room applause.
Beetle, Dodge Neon or Chevy Cavalier? What did he co-sign on? We're going to take a quick break after this one, too, to relieve the tension.
Oh, this one is...
All right, Tiffany, do you have an answer?
Dodge Neon.
Dodge Neon from Tiffany.
The ladies at the time loved a good Beetle.
They loved a Beetle. That is not incorrect. But for the answer, it is.
Yeah, I figured.
So no points for Craddock. Could it be a Dodge Neon? Could Tiffany get a little closer? Yeah, it was a Dodge Neon. I actually drove a Dodge Neon. Probably right to the 04. I would say 04. I was driving a Dodge Neon. So, all right.
Good old tin can, you
Say
know?
she wasn't hip with the
worked
times.
great.
It's fine. All right.
So 750 points to 1,000. We've got 3 questions to go. We're going to take one more short break here. And
Your short break here.
come back or Greg's going to stab you in the carotid artery.
Oddly specific.
Sounds like.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Episode 63. We back in it. So if you'll remember, he just helped one of his girlfriends purchase a Dodge Neon, in which Tiffany tightened up the score a little bit here. We've got 1,000 for Craddock. We've got 750 for Tiffany. I can math.
Proud of you.
November 18th, 2002. He's going to file one of those famous Derrick Lee insurance claims on Cassandra Green's newly purchased Dodge Neon.
That car was just too fire.
Yeah.
All right.
He attempts to make money off of every car he's had his hand on. So November 21st, he rapes and beats to death Danae Colomb with a tree branch in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Wait.
Yeah.
Which is funny because when you're talking about walking up the hill to get those other people, the first thing that popped in my head was tree branch, kind of as a joke.
Uh-huh.
But this man doesn't cease to amaze me.
Yeah.
He pulls out a scythe, and then finally after all these years, tree branch is a motherfucker.
Tree branch in Lafayette. December 25th, 2002, Marianne Fowler disappears in Port Allen, Louisiana. February 1st of 2003, Derrick's going to start working the night shift at ExxonMobil. March 3rd, he kills Carrie Lynn Yoder in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. March 1st of the same year, he's going to leave work. And at the end of February, he's going to return in March 6th to pick up his check. So he's just going to dip. He comes back a month and a half later to get his check and just to say his final fuck yous. Later that day, he meets a woman at a shopping mall, and she agrees to let him drive her home. He returns several times to the woman's house because at this point, I think he just went for his shot and asks her for permission to masturbate outside her house while he watched her. So he just took a shot like, hey, look, I'm kind of into this thing. I just like to watch from outside.
Hey, he's turning
That's
over a
very
new
Louis
leaf.
CK of him.
I was thinking like, yeah.
You said it.
Yep. I was thinking, maybe I could watch you from outside and kind of do my thing. And she's like, yeah, that doesn't bother me so much. And then
What was her thing though? Like cooking dinner?
I don't know. I really don't
Folding
know.
laundry?
I think just
The more
really-
domestic, the better.
Well, let me tell you this before you think about that. I think it's just the idea of him getting to peep on somebody doing anything that's not aware of him, because he didn't like tell her like, "Hey, I'm rolling up right now. Like, be ready for me." She just said like, "Yeah, peep when you
whenever.
need to peep or whatever." And then so he did that, and he would also just go by her house when she wasn't there and just jerk off in his truck, just like, oh, there's her house. Like, oh, she lives inside.
I think we can all
that
use a
house.
friend with that level of dedication.
Yeah, so she allows him to do this.
Maybe not that
something
exact instance, but
Yeah.
just that level of commitment and dedication for your,
So on April 1st, 2003, he's laid off from ExxonMobil. That was just a little over 2 months, if you're interested. March 21st, 2003, a multi-agency task force has announced for the first time that a serial killer could be the multi-agency task force announced for the first time that the serial killer more than likely is a black man even the police sketch up to this point, like we said, has either been a white man and they did one as a black man. If you guys aren't sure, I didn't grab the exact statistics for it, but I'm going to guess it's like a 9-1. There are not a lot of black serial killers. It's very few and far between. It is dominated by white men. And so I think going into it, when they saw a serial killer, it was only normal of them to presume that they were looking for a white male initially. So May 5th, 2003, Zachary police collect DNA from Lee in the Mirror case. So they're still ongoing with this. It hasn't been solved. They collect some more DNA. Question number 11. He's going to flee the state the same day he gives the DNA sample. How does he run? Does he get a one-way plane ticket? Leave in the Dodge Neon? Take a train? Or a Greyhound bus? One-way plane ticket, leave in the Dodge Neon, a train, or a bus. We're getting down to it over here.
Did you write anything down?
Really thinking over here. Oh, he's got it locked up in his head.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, whose turn?
At the same time.
It's you. But yes.
1, 2, 3. Bus. Aww.
That was also my response, but I guess I didn't write it down.
That's all good.
You'll never know now.
Yeah. Double buses?
Double bus. A double-decker bus.
Oh, that was one of the options?
He was in England?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 Greyhound bus answers and 2 scores. It won't change anything for the outcome, but you will break 1,000, Tiffany, which is the benchmark of a decent game.
By the way, though, the Dodge Neon, I thought he wrecked or
he tried to.
Thing?
He tried. I don't think it worked out this time.
Remember, he's not a follow-througher.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He beat it up.
Either that or that knowledge eliminated Dodge Neon from the selection for you. See that?
It did.
Either way, it's good information to have for sure. So yes, you guys are right. May 5th, he decides that DNA is probably going to get me caught for fucking something. Hops on a Greyhound bus, gets the fuck out of town. 2 days later, though, he returns to move his possessions out of his home. 2 days after that, he says goodbye to his family. Like, I'm going to be on the run for a minute. Don't worry about me. The next day, he moves to Detroit to live with some relatives. And on the 14th, was just 4 days after that, Diane Alexander's attack was linked by DNA to the serial killer. So they have these killings. They've been linked together now as a serial killer. So investigators have a description of the appearance of the automobile that Lee is driving. 11 days after it's been connected to the serial killer, Lee's DNA was matched to that of the serial killers. So at this point, they have made confirmation from all these multiple sources of DNA collection that it is one killer. And then almost 2 weeks later, they link it to being Derrick Todd Lee as the serial killer. May 26, 2003, as Cassandra Green's home was being searched, Lee called her on the phone. The caller ID located him in Atlanta. On May 26th, a tip led police to the location. That was the phone call. And the Diane Alexander tip. So he's toasted. He's been arrested in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
August 5th, 2004, the now 35-year-old Derrick Todd Lee starts his trial for the murder of Geraldine DeSoto. He's going to be tried separately on a lot of these. August 6, 2004, Lee complained to a judge about his public defender not being in it for his best interest. Weird. DeSoto's estranged husband, Greg?
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. It looked like you were leaning forward to say something about
no, but I was
defenders.
thinking it's gotta be a fucking like a strain to be a public defender, man. Mm-hmm. Like you got to step up there and take one for like just I mean, admittedly, there are some people who are just like mixed up in some shit and who need some help.
You got to be like, this guy's cool, man. I'm telling you, though, like this guy.
And that's the thing. Like you can hate their guts and you all that, but like you gotta do a good job because if you don't, they get a mistrial. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't know, man.
It's tough.
They're stuck in a.
Yeah, that sucks. That
You
fucking
have to
sucks.
make it like appear like you're trying, but like.
I
then
think that's
you
what Derrick Todd Lee is saying, though. He's saying that
he's not doing a good job.
Yeah, this guy's not doing the work he needs to do to be my public.
He's
defender.
not doing the minimal amount.
Yeah, exactly.
Required. Yeah.
So Geraldine DeSoto's estranged husband, on the same day that he's going to complain about his public defender, will detail and recount his discovery of the crime scene in which he found his deceased wife. On August 9th, prosecution arrested after Lee's son identified boots linked to DeSoto crime scene. So his own son, I mean, I don't think he was testifying against him necessarily, but he was like, "Are these your dad's boots?" And he was like, "Yeah, shit," like.
Yeah.
And so they arrest their scene.
He's got boots
Damn,
like
where'd you
that,
get
and I haven't
those?
seen them in a while.
Exactly. August 10th, 2004, the jury found Lee guilty of second-degree murder after 2 hours of deliberation. What will be the sentence? Is it A, 25 to 40 years? B, 45 to 60 years? C, life inside? Or D, the death sentence? This is just for the one charge. Second degree murder, 25 to 40, 45 to 60, life inside, or a death sentence.
I got mine.
I have a question.
Greg.
Is he being tried in Louisiana?
He is being tried. All of these crimes took place in Louisiana.
Right, but I wasn't sure if he was extradited for anything or
Nope.
if he was
He is being tried.
change of venue.
Everything is in Louisiana.
I am going to go with 25 to 40. Second degree.
25 to 40 years.
45 to 60.
45 to 60. Nobody's getting any closer to winning this thing right now because they
C,
give
life.
him, with the second degree murder in the state of Louisiana, carries a mandatory life sentence. So for now, Tiffany, if you answer the next question, let me check what
I can tie it up if he gets it wrong.
That is correct, and it is multiple choice. So you can tie it up, which would take us into an artistic challenge.
Yes.
Would be your second one because is that why we did it last time, or did we just do an artistic challenge? It went to overtime, right?
No, it was a tie between Travis and Susanna. I
That's right.
had lost very, very poorly, like badly,
Wait,
and I just wanted a participation.
Artistic
Yes,
challenge.
yes.
Artistic.
Yes.
Artistic.
We had it the other way at first, and Greg just kept winning.
Definitely.
Like, hear him pull off the mute just so he can talk. Okay, so on September 3rd, God damn it. He's all fucking cracking up over here now. You got me on your little tiny screen. All right. So yeah, he's convicted to the mandatory life sentence in the state of Louisiana. September 13th, 2004, the trial for the murder of Charlotte Murray Pace is going to begin. She's the LSU student, if you'll remember. September 29th, it takes 16 days, but the main jurors are selected for the Pace trial. October 4th, first day of proceedings in the Pace trial, the jury was shown over 100 pictures of the crime scene.
Oh my God.
The next day, DNA analysis linking Lee to the murder scene was presented. So they've now seen 100 pictures of the crime scene and DNA evidence that he fucking was for sure there. Lee is also identified by Diane Alexander in testimony, and on October 12th, he's found guilty and recommended for the death penalty after 93 minutes of deliberation, which is a very short period of time for deliberation, especially for a death sentence. So they had no...
They're like, yep.
Yeah, there were no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. 93 minutes. They're like, they said we had to be in here for 90. You guys good to give them an answer at 93 and take a nap
Just
right now?
set the alarm now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, if we push it back a little bit, they bring us lunch. So.
Yeah, all right. Let's do it 93 then, because I think that's where we
We
can
get
it
our
at.
per diem if we
Yes. So October 14th, Lee's sister takes a stand to testify in his defense in the sentencing hearing. Not sure what exactly she can say to redeem him at this point, but the defense argued against the death penalty, reiterating Lee's limited mental capacity. Every time, go ahead. Were you gonna say something again?
No, I like to think that, she got up there and tried to give this like end of the movie speech where the camera kind of rotates around from a low angle. Mm-hmm. And she's up there like the American flag in the background kind of waving. And she's like,
because the fan was on in the room and the flag was the one that's on
right,
the wall.
but she's up there trying to like save the day, and like the judge is going to be like, you know what? Justice system be damned. This guy's free to go.
Because that's how it's been for him his whole fucking life. So his sister is probably just like, well,
That's real. That's actually, you got a good point there.
we're throwing the Hail Mary. We may as well try this.
Not a bad Hail
Let's
Mary.
appeal to their heartstrings.
Yes, precisely that.
Humanity within them all.
So, he was sentenced to the death penalty.
Can't win them all.
January 11th, 2005, the decision was made to not prosecute him in the Colombe case because of family concerns. February 11th, 2005, Diane Alexander requested dismissal of her case against Lee for personal reasons.
What?
On April 28th, Attorney Thompson pursued a new trial in West Baton Rouge due to lack of oath to office on file for prosecutor Tony Clayton. So there's a bunch of clerical fucking errors that almost get Todd Lee out of some shit at the end. But in the end, they do not. May 24th, the appeal formally accepted by Judge Richard Anderson. And on May 28th, the parish denied a new trial's request. August 4th, 2005, a court record for Pace murder was given to Louisiana Supreme Court for mandatory review. And on March 7th, the next year, it is deemed not valid. So, if we're staying linear in our time here, this is when Diane Alexander will begin to sue the Crime Stoppers because he's now been found guilty and it was due to her tips. There is a deal made with all of the suspects because they had a lot of suspects trying to find this ghost of Baton Rouge, including Greg, if you'll remember, Sean Gillis, who was one of our episodes. I remember him. He was also killing in the Baton Rouge area at the time. So, in fact, the discovery of Sean Gillis led to the discovery of Derrick Todd Lee in many ways. So,
well, because they were looking for Sean Gillis, and then they
stumbled upon.
They were like, "Wait a second, this is a different MO. This is a different guy."
That's exactly.
And then they realized they were dealing with two people.
And here we have Derrick Todd Lee.
It was before.
Yeah, it was definitely before.
They have all of this DNA from all of these suspects that they took from all of these murders. A deal is made to destroy all of these DNA samples for all of these innocent suspects. Essentially, these guys are saying, you can't just keep our DNA in the database because you thought at one point I was guilty of murder and I'm clearly not. So a deal is made and a federal judge approves the destruction of the DNA. I just thought that was a cool little Yeah, I think that's definitely a good system.
Also good.
So that's a federal law then?
It's not a federal law. Incorrect. A deal was made in court and a federal judge approved the destruction of the DNA. So mostly
case by case. Then.
Mostly if your DNA is taken, it goes into it's in there.
So is that
innocent or not?
Dang.
That's another album though, Destruction of the DNA.
Yep, Destruction of the DNA. So September 29th, 2006, defense attorneys handling the appeal attempted to obtain 7 pages from the original trial transcript to disprove something that was said during that. They would not be successful in that. Question number, the last chance. How will Derrick Todd Lee end up dying? Will it be A, lethal injection, B, the big C, cancer, or C, heart disease, or D, he's still alive?
Oh, God, that's a...
Lethal injection, cancer, heart disease, or still alive?
All right, I'm going to go E, dehydration from excessive masturbation, obviously by his history.
Suicide.
Yeah. But
Suicide by
dick.
But I got mine.
Okay.
You good? You already got it?
No.
Let's have you, since you've got the lead, let's hear yours first.
Okay.
She's going to copy me over here, but due to, I believe it is one of the main killers of African-American men, is heart disease.
He's going heart disease.
I'm using my brain, not my heart. Pun slightly intended.
So, since he went first, strategy-wise, you can't choose heart disease because you can't win choosing the same answer as him, even if it's the right answer.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
He's possibly eliminated
way to give
an
her
answer
tactics.
for you. Yeah, she's trying to win a game here.
No follow through over here, but she's trying to tie a game and maybe have a chance to win.
I really want him to be alive. I mean, no, I don't want him to be alive, but I like, you know what I mean?
For the sake
like,
of the game.
Yeah. I just like...
Future games.
Well, I don't want him to be alive, but just for the sake of the story. You know what I mean?
That is the answer.
Yes.
You think that. Okay.
Sure.
Here's what's happening. You guys got a long drive home. And you could talk about the whole time
It's heart disease.
how it was heart disease and Craddock just won the whole thing. Congratulations.
Thanks, science.
Yes.
Or all that candy. Like I
Either
said,
way,
comes back to the
heart
candy.
disease. So, episode 63 has deemed a new champion.
Never coming back.
Craddock, welcome and congratulations.
Boo.
Yeah.
I'd say I've never won anything in my life, but that'd be a lie.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad then to add to your trophy case.
Yes, with literally nothing
Yes,
put in it.
you just leave a blank space there, and people be like, "Whoa, you gonna put something here?" And be like,
I'll put
there.
these cards that I wrote very sloppy maybe answers on.
There we go.
in it.
I like that.
And then it'll be like, oh, what are those? And then I have a story.
And I mean, that's the end of it. We went all the way down to his death. He did die of heart disease well before the state of Louisiana was able to kill him by lethal injection.
There's all the paperwork. It's just,
Yep.
It all comes back down to paperwork.
They were just giving him greasy ass food while he was in there and hoping for the best. So that's the long and short of it. He's confirmed to have killed 3, suspected of 7. So Derrick Todd Lee, now dead, good riddance, certified fuckface. Anything you guys want to throw in at the end of the episode here? Any social medias? Anything you want to say about our friend Derrick Todd Lee? Anything? Now is your time.
Oh gosh.
get it?
Let
the world know where they can find you in
Do
the world.
it.
On the Instagram at Tiffany Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day.
Day.
My handle, as the kids say, is X Craddock, Craddock X on the grams.
That's how you find him.
That's how you find me.
You. And over there, Hella Greg. Where do they find you?
Those.
At Hella Greg on all your favorite social medias.
And all the ones you hate too.
All the ones that are tracking you, all the ones that are advertising to you specifically.
Swipe right and you will find Greg.
That's the way.
Is that the right direction?
I would assume so.
We've got it all here, you guys. Just cruise through to the Serial Chillers podcast. Thank you, Greg, for joining us from the mobile command center bunker.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Tiffany and Craddock, for making the trip. And thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 63 of the Serial Chillers podcast. That was episode 63. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. Fuck Derrick Todd Lee. That is all. Thank you, Hella Greg, for being here and editing. We couldn't do it without you, bro. Thank you to Tiffany and Craddock. I appreciate you guys a lot for coming out last minute. It was a pleasure to enjoy a Mountain Dew with you. Diet Mountain Dew, that is. Shout outs to my homies from Patreon, Summer Schilling, Lisa Ice Queen, and Caroline Rizzo. And remember, this episode was brought to you by Shannon and the Purple Dragon Trophy, courtesy of Patreon supporter Shane O. Reach out to the show if you want, guys. You can do it in so many ways. Facebook is Serial Chillers Podcast. The Facebook group is Serial Chillers Podcast. Instagram is at Serial Chillers Podcast. The Twitter is at Chillers Podcast. The email is serialchillerspodcast@gmail.com. Call or text the voicemail line at 1-805-666-2513, especially if you're listening to this on launch day. By this Sunday, the 20th, we'll accept submissions for the Halloween special. So tell us your spooky story. If it's personal to you, if it's just a story you know, you can call it into the voicemail line or email it to us. Record it on a voice memo on your phone. Let's hear those stories, guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Thank you for everything you've done. SerialChillersPodcast.threadless.com for merchandise. Rate and review on everything if you would. Patreon.com/SerialChillersPodcast to support if you would like. Give as little as $1 a month. And every 2 weeks we're posting episodes from Greg and my old podcast, Anxious Extrovert. So you give as little as $1 a month and you get 2 or 3 episodes a month of an additional show that Greg and I used to do. So thanks to all those people who have given. Thanks to all those who are thinking about giving. Remember, don't talk to strangers.
This has been another presentation from Super Network.